Welcome back to Mac Talks Football. It's match day at 24 in Serie A, and I mean, you couldn't write a better script at the moment for the league. I mean, especially after what happened last weekend, Atalanta drawing, Napoli drawing, Inter drawing, and Inter then go ahead and they lose to Fiorentina. Everybody's making sure that the league can be as entertaining as possible every weekend. Nobody's really giving each other, a heads up that what's going to happen. It is really really tight. Just 7 points separating the top three, Napoli, Inter, and Atalanta. Then you go from fourth, Fiorentina at fourth, up until eighth, Milan at eighth. Just 5 points separating, 7 points separating the next five teams as well. For those European places, you come down for that relegation places. Verona in 13th, right up until Monza at 20. Just 10 points separating those teams for the relegation fight as well. So it is really really tight, and I think we're going to expect a couple of shocking results this weekend as well. So let's go ahead and make our prediction. The first game, it is Como versus Juventus. It is 15th versus a 6th. Como, unfortunately, a couple of weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, to be very honest with you, it was looking really good. That it felt like Como have sort of gotten away from the pack, but the last couple of weeks have been really good. Like at 3 defeats in their last 5 games, it has sort of pushed them back right into the mix. It's not looking as simple for them as it was looking a month ago. Playing against a Juventus side, I'm still not convinced from Juventus. They are sixth in the table. They have won twice in the last 5 games. I still think they are still missing something, and I think this game is going to be a tough one for them. If I'm being very honest with you, Como at home, they are going to give their all, and with the new additions in the transfer business that they have they've brought in, I think it'll be a very fun game to watch. But I think in the end it's going to end up in a draw. I'm going for a 1-0 draw between Como and Juventus. Moving on, it is Verona versus Atalanta. It is 13th versus a third, and both these teams have just one win in their last 5 games. Both of them are not in a really good form coming into this game, and Verona have been one of those teams who have been really hard for the so-called big teams to play against, especially at home. And I think Atalanta are going to face similar issues in this game as well, and Verona are going to give them their everything that they've got, because they know they're still they could still get in trouble and get pushed back to those relegation places. Atalanta know they are going to be the first of the big three to play, so they need to win, and they need to put pressure on Inter and Napoli, and I think they are going to get the win here. I think we have very very tight game, but I'm going for a 2-1 win for Atalanta. Moving on, it is Empoli versus Milan. It is 16th versus 8th. Empoli are in a really bad form. Undefeated, winners in the last 5 games, 3 defeats and 2 draws. Playing against a Milan side who are really inconsistent, to be very honest with you. A couple of wins, a couple of draws, and a single defeat. They drew the Milan derby last weekend as well. They are going to go away to Empoli. I think it will be a tough game for Milan, but I don't know why. I just think somehow they are going to indicate in the end. I'm going for a very close, very hard fought 1-0 win for Milan. Then it is Torino versus Genoa. It is 11th versus 12th. Both these teams are in the mid-table. They're not fighting for Europe. They are not in that relegation scrap. Torino are undefeated in their last 5 games, but it's just 1 win and 4 draws. Genoa, on the other hand, a couple of wins, a couple of draws, so a couple of defeats and a single draw as well. So they have been both, they are just there. I don't think it is going to be any interesting game of football, if I'm being very honest with you. I think it's going to be a bland game of football, but I think in the end it is going to end up in a draw. I'm going for a 1-0 draw between Torino and Genoa. Moving on, it is Venezia versus Roma. It is 19th versus 9th. Venezia, they are winless in their last 5 games, 3 defeats and a couple of draws. Playing against a Roma side who are undefeated in their last 5 games, 3 wins and a couple of draws. Roma have really turned it around under Ranieri, and I think this is one of those games, yet another one of those games where Roma are going to think they are going to get something out of it. Venezia are really really struggling, even though they are the home side. I just don't see them getting anything from this game, especially with the form Roma are in. I am going for a very comfortable 2-0 win for Roma. Then it's Lazio versus Monza. It is 5th versus 28th. Lazio, they have been inconsistent in the last 5 games, but they have been 2 wins in the last 3 games. So you could say they're sort of starting to, come back into rhythm yet again. They're playing against a 20 side, Monza, who have won just once in the last 5 games. The last 3 games have been defeats, and I just don't see any other results apart from a very comfortable win for Lazio. They are the home side as well. So I'm going for a 3-1 win for Lazio. Then it's a massive game at the bottom of the table. It is Cagliari versus Parma. It is 17th versus 18th. And now Cagliari, a couple of weeks ago, it looked like they have made a gap between them and the teams in the bottom. But the last couple of weeks, they have lost both of their games, so they are right back in it. Just 1 point difference between them and the 18th place Parma. Parma, unfortunately, they are winless in the last 5 games. They are going into this game with not in a really good form. Cagliari, they're the home side as well, and as I said, they were playing really good football for for the last month or so. The last couple of weeks it has not gone their way, but I think this weekend they are going to turn it around. They're the home side as well, and I think they are favorites, and I think they are going to win it as well. I think it will be very, very tight, but I think Cagliari are going to nick it in there. I'm going for a 2-1 win for Cagliari. Moving on, it is Lecce versus Bologna. It is 14th versus 7th. Now Lecce yet again, they have won 2 games in the last 4 games. That has brought them up from the teams who are, they've sort of come up from the teams who are below them, and they would like to continue to get as far away from them as possible. But I think it's going to be a very tough game for them. They are playing against the Bologna side who are undefeated in their last 5 games, but out of those 5, only 2 of them have been wins, 3 draws. So that has brought them down to 7th. Otherwise, it was looking like they were going to break into that top 6. But luckily for them, the teams above them are not really that consistent as well. So I think it is going to be one of those games where both teams try really hard. We're going to see a lot of chances being created, but we're not going to be able to see finisher. I think it is going to be one of those frustrating games, and where it's going to be really good football, but there are going to be no goals. And I'm going to be sitting here, and most of us are going to be sitting here. We're going to say that it was an entertaining game, but it ended in a draw. I'm going for a very entertaining 0-0 draw between Lecce and Bologna. Moving on, it is Napoli versus Udinese. It is 1st versus 10th. Napoli's 6 games winning streak came to end last weekend when they drew their game, which was quite surprising. I'm not gonna lie. And by the time they play, it's it's possible that Atlanta would have won their game, and the difference between them and Atlanta are gonna be just 3 points. So that's gonna be a pressure on them as well. Playing against an Udinese side who just won first time for about after 6 or 7 weeks last weekend, so they are not in a really good form coming into this game. Udinese and Napoli, they are the home side as well, and they know how important this game is, especially because Inter are going to play after game, and Inter have a really big game. So I think Napoli are going to go in that mindset, and I think they are going to get the win, and I think it is going to be a comfortable win for them as well. I'm going for a 2-0 win for Napoli. And the last game of the weekend is Inter versus Fiorentina. It is 2nd versus 4th. I mean, it's a massive game. Inter's title charge has sort of dipped the last couple of games they drew last weekend, and then they lost to Fiorentina Thursday night, and it was a very, very impressive, a great game and an impressive performance from Fiorentina. They dispatched Inter with ease. They were the home side, and they looked like the Fiorentina, of the earlier part of the season when they were going on an amazing run, and it looked like they were going to challenge for the title. So Fiorentina were in a really good form. Inzaghi was really pissed. You could see it on his face after that defeat. So Inter are going to be looking for revenge in this game. If you look at it, they drew against Milan somehow in the last moment of the game, and then they lost to Fiorentina. So the last 2 big games have not been really good for Inter. So they really need a response, and their fans are going to be expecting a response from them. Fiorentina, they are going to come in this game with a lot of confidence, but they are the away side this time. I think it will be a very good game, and it will be an entertaining game. I am going for a 2-2 draw between Inter and Fiorentina. And with that, my predictions for match day 24 of Serie A are complete. Let me know what you guys think of my predictions in the comment section below. Do you agree with them? Do you disagree with them? What are your predictions as well? Put them in the comment section below. Like the video, share it as well. Click on the notification bell, and of course subscribe to the channel. We are trying to get to 500 subscribers before the end of this year, so please go ahead and subscribe and help the channel out. Until next time, bye bye.